All right, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome here as we talk a little bit about the hackathon results. Let me see if my screen's showing up there. It should be showing if it's all right. Yeah, Todd, your phone is here. And while you get that, probably I'll tell a little bit. So one of the first, a little bit of the backstory of the hackathon, one of the first steering committee meetings, I said, well, we probably should do a hackathon. And Todd said, oh, shut it down. I don't think we can do it. So, well, yes, we can do it. And we got a great response from a lot of people in Atlanta. And if you could please change my presentation, please. We got a great response from a lot of people in Atlanta. And we are here today to show you a few of the cases that has been built and pretty much the finalists of this hackathon and award the prizes. Now, before we go into that a little bit, who am I? I'm Lucas Persona, Chief Digital Evangelist for CINT, a technology agency, about 2,200 people globally. And even though I've lived 6 years in New Jersey, my accent is not from New Jersey, originally from Brazil. And hackathon is something that we take it very dearly at heart as we look at different technologies, how those can be used. We think it's very important to have people in your organization that are involved in something like hackathons, that try to experiment new technologies, that look into ways of putting those technologies to work in their business context. So for all the business executives here, for all the leaders, if you don't know yet who from your organization is involved in hackathons, has an interest in building things, on experimenting things, try to find that out, try to encourage them. Today, CINT has hired more than 300 developers and architects exclusively through hackathons. We don't do the interviews, we don't look at resumes, put people together, go to other hackathons, see people working, and see the great results that they bring to the table. And what we had on the hackathon events here was a lot of different kits provided by great sponsors, and 104 people registered for our kickoff event. After that kickoff event, they formed teams. We got 14 different teams formed where they had 3 weeks to work on their ideas, build something that they could show up, bring those to the demo day, and a panel of 6 judges was able to go through those entries and bring the final results to you today. We're going to talk about 3 different teams: Atlanta, Blue Fox, and Network on this alphabetical orders. And those are the 3 teams. We'll talk a little bit about their solution here. I would like to ask John and David to come up as we do. John, please. We do a quick. So in this case here, John's team was able to build a solution related to asset tracking. And their case was building a smarter John. We thought as we have a presentation during lunch, maybe a live demo would be too memorable for it. But the asset tracking internally, GPS also is not a great coverage. But I would recommend there will be a table right outside here at the exhibitor pavilion to the right, where you'll be able to connect more with John and learn more about how they're looking, what is their vision in using IoT, using sensors for asset tracking like this, spread around a large area, and a dashboard that is able to control all that and visualize all that information. So please feel free to follow up, and thank you very much. Thank you. I think it would. I have another one now. Where's Blue Fox team? That I will invite you to come up here. So Blue Fox, please, and this will be able to do presentation. They will go through their idea, what is the business scenario, and encourage you to think as they go through how would you apply something like that to your case, to your organization. Please, welcome them.
We'll have our slides up in a second. I am here representing Team Blue Fox, and our idea was to do weapon discharge tracking. So we wanted to take IoT and figure out how we could, one, give accountability for law enforcement, add a layer of safety for them, as well as do cost savings for our law enforcement agencies. So, maybe next time. I'll just keep going. So on the accountability and safety part, Since we'll be tracking when a weapon is discharged actually in the field, we'll be able to hopefully provide immediate assistance in the instance of a weapon discharge. We'll have a centralized display area, maybe at their dispatch center, so they'll know immediately real time when a weapon discharge event happens. This also enforces compliance with reporting. We've noticed, or we've read some articles recently where the use of force protocols aren't always followed correctly as far as filling out paperwork. So now we'll have an instance where you'll have to do the compliance paperwork because we'll know real time that a weapon discharge has happened. We'll also be able to provide data for subsequent investigations. If there is a weapon discharge event, we'll then have data of when and where this happened. And then we'll also be able to hopefully provide data for crime research. And maybe we can use this research to determine where we need to have our resources as far as law enforcement in the community.
All right, we're going to try changing tracks a little bit then while the other gets connected. Seems there's some problem with that connectivity there. See if my screens show up. Yep, good. So I will call up here then the network on demand, and then I will come back to the Blue Fox. Live demos are always interesting. Okay, it's up to you guys.
Okay. Have you guys ever gone to a convenience store or a gas station to get something to drink and you really want a Coke and you walk in there and they're out? So you go and you grab a Pepsi or something else to drink instead. And it's no big deal to the owner of the gas station or the convenience store because they're still getting their money. But the vendor is out because you didn't buy their product. So how do we solve for that?
So our idea was to create a network on demand. So you can think, as we just heard, the Things Network would be an awesome solution. We could build sensors into a cooler that could real-time publish data up to the Things Network. One of the problems with the Things Network here in Atlanta, you can see in the graph here, there's not a lot of coverage yet in Atlanta. So that wasn't going to work for our solution. So what we decided to try would build a mesh network from store to store over the LoRa radios. The idea here would be each store could communicate its status of being out of stock, in stock, and then it could upload, one of the nodes could upload to the internet. Let's show you a quick demo.
All right, so Amit and I are really thirsty. And so we go to the convenience store and we walk in and I'm gonna get a Diet Coke.
Right, and you can see here that the real time, the count updates. And now you can see that we're in this here we are at this QT down here, and we see that we're in this yellow status that we are short on Diet Coke.
Pass me a Coke.
You want on? Oh, okay. Hang on. You know what? I want a Coke too. So I'm going to put the Diet Coke back and get us both a Coke.
Then again, real time, you can see that Coke went down and Diet Coke is incremented. Now, me too. What the heck? I'm thirsty too. I will steal the last Coke. And now you see real time, QT is completely out of Coke. This would give advanced warning so that Coke could restock their coolers and make sure they're not missing out on this out of stock situation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I think we are we ready for the next? Almost? All right. I haven't planned many jokes to keep you entertaining here, but I would like to say something about what you've just seen. Real-time connectivity, Internet of Things, completely hidden from the user in a way, but really leveraging the possibilities of the business. So when you think about Internet of Things, was mentioned a little earlier today about the user experience. How can you change the journey of your customer? How can you change what they're doing, how they're interacting with your brand, with your organization, so that it becomes completely seamless to them what's going on, and still you're providing a great value to them. I'm coming up to this cooler here, and I know that there will be something there that I want because we are not out of stock. So start to think about the scenarios in your organization where every type of interaction that a customer has with your brand or organization, be it B2C or also B2B on the B2B space. How can you improve that experience that they are having? How can you leverage IoT to create a better experience overall with them and engage them better within our organization? Even internally, how your employees are interacting. We've done a few things related to sensors within organizations to help manage meeting rooms, for example. You know meeting rooms are being used, they're not being used, even though someone is scheduled. How can you improve productivity through IoT? Are we good for the other demo? Okay, let's go a few minutes. We'll have to be a little quicker than on this one.
Hi, everyone. Sorry, take 2 on this. All right. So if you remember what I was talking about a little bit earlier, like, I don't know, 5 minutes ago, what we were doing was we were tracking weapon discharge tracking. So we wanted to use Sigfox particularly for this tracking because it's low power, it has a very good range, and of course because it's low power and it has a good range, but it's only sending a small amount of data, then it can make the battery last for a long time that we're putting on these devices. Oh, thank you. So on the accountability and safety part, just to rehash right quick, we would provide immediate assistance in the instance of weapon discharge in the field. We would enforce compliance because you have to do a report once that weapon was discharged. We would provide data for any investigations that would happen afterwards, and then hopefully use this research to deploy law enforcement officials in the community where they needed to go. So the cost savings part. Part of this is that right now, I think the LAPD is looking at outfitting about 44,000 stun guns with cameras, as well as providing their officers with body cameras. If we were to provide Sigfox technology instead of the camera on the stun gun, we could possibly save them $1.5 million and still provide some data as far as what's happening in the field with their weapon. Also, you have to keep in mind that when you're doing camera, you have to pay for video cloud storage for all this, the video that you're recording. The subscription model for Sigfox is significantly less than that. What you're also getting, since we're tracking GPS, is equipment tracking. There was a town in Texas that lost $4 million in police equipment. That's a pretty big number. So now that we're tracking weapons in the field, we're able to say where they are and, of course, prevent loss and theft possibly. So the data we're going to be tracking on these weapons is GPS, date time, of course, if there's a discharge event, voltage in the event of you deploying your stun gun, a trigger depression, which is, of course, indicates that a weapon has been discharged, and then we have a keep alive signal that's going on a daily basis, and this is to let us know that the weapon is still on the network, let you know, hey, I'm good, I'm still communicating. So the way this all works, of course, is that we have the Sigfox technology on the device, we have GPS on the device, and we'll also have something to determine the pressure of when a trigger is pulled. This information is going up over the Sigfox network, and of course then out to the web. And then our scenario here, we're sending it to Elasticsearch, and we'll send it over to a dashboard where, in a centralized display area, we'll see when weapons are being discharged real time. And so now, we're able to pull up the demo and what the dashboards are gonna look like. So, in a discharge event, we'll be able to actually see where action is happening. We'll actually be able to see what device is coming from, and of course, give us a nice little Google Maps area here is going on. And then, when we have an actual weapon discharge, if I were to do this, oh wait. Did I do it?
Gotta load it first.
Ready? Then we actually have this come up on the screen to say that, hey, a weapon has actually been discharged in the field. So real time, we will have weapon discharge tracking. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to invite them, the 3 teams, back up here. And yes, please, give them a huge applause. If you think about it, in 3 weeks, building a solution, not only the sensors part, connecting it, building the presentation, working on all the different hardware sets here, I'd like to thank all of you and thank all the others who participated also and encourage you and your organizations to really participate on these things and encourage that within your organization. Now, unfortunately, we had to pick only one. And we have a panel of 6 judges. And for this hackathon, the winner is Network on Demand. So congratulations. Please go ahead. And please, the other teams come together here too for a Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the day. Appreciate it.